One of the best feelings you can get from strength training is the pump. There's actually studies that show that actually may lead to muscle growth, but we all know for sure that getting a good pump probably means you're in the right environment. You've created the right environment for gains. Well, we're going to talk about the 4 things you could do that will almost always guarantee that you get a good pump from your workouts.
Do you think the research that supports that is more to do with like the psychological part? Like when you get the pump, you tend to keep going, train harder, you're into it, you got a good connection. Do you think there's actually something that's happening that is causing any more hypertrophy than just traditional strength training? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think, I think...
Like the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, we understand that, right?
I think it may signal muscle growth through the cell swelling process. It also shows that you're connecting to a muscle. You guys know this as trainers. If somebody had an underdeveloped body part, they almost always had a tough time getting a pump in it. And then when you finally got them to get a pump in it, then you could start to see some development. Probably has more to do with connection.
Because it has to, but it does have to have something to do, like physiologically from the pump that builds muscle, because or else BFR training wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Because if it was just purely, because that's what's happening there, right? Is that you are basically flooding
they think it's more like you're starving the muscle cells for oxygen.
Oh, they think it's more oxygen related than it is the fluid pumped in there?
It activates the fast twitch muscle fibers. But then there's some speculation around that as well. I mean, we know this for sure. Like if you get a good pump, it means you at least have the right environment for that growth to occur. Well, let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you this, Adam, especially when you're bodybuilding. Getting a poor pump or a good pump oftentimes signaled, it wasn't perfect, right? But it signaled I'm in a good position or I'm in a bad position. I'm probably doing okay, or wow, I'm having a tough time getting a pump. This might not be the best muscle building environment.
Well, so yes. And what you're about to teach everybody as far as the things that would do this is probably that's what the feedback gave. Like normally, not to get ahead of the 4 points that you made, but if I lacked a pump from my training, I didn't think I had a poor connection. I didn't think that the exercise wasn't good. I went to these things and went, oh, I must not have had enough of this, didn't do this or didn't do that.
Didn't have enough pre-workout or something.
Yeah, it's not pre-workout stuff. Well, the stuff that Sal's listed, I like this conversation a lot because I took every pump supplement that ever
it's a whole category.
Yeah, and they work. So this is not to knock them because I did notice a difference with NO2 and those different type of supplements that were supposed to increase nitric oxide and cause more of a pump. But what I found from competing, which was ironic because I wasn't really chasing the pump at that point, or I wasn't taking any pump supplements or anything. I didn't care at that point. Was the things that you're about to talk about is in regards to sodium hydration, huge difference.
Yes. Huge difference. And okay, so let's back up a second. I've been working out personally for a long time, and I remember when the category of pump supplements became a thing. They weren't a thing before. Okay, like early to mid 90s when I started working out. And I was right away really into it, bodybuilding magazines and books, and I got real into it right out the gates. There was no category of supplements that got you a better pump. Nobody sold that. Now, everybody liked the pump. Everybody talked about the pump. I mean, Arnold talks about the pump in Pumping Iron. And for people who've never experienced this, when you strength train
graphically,
and you work when you work in a particular muscle group, what'll happen is you'll feel that muscle group get tight and engorged as more blood goes into the muscle than comes out. So it's called the pump. This is what people refer to. And if a lot of people like it. At first you might think it's weird, but then a lot of people like it because it feels like you're doing something. The muscle feels tight and firm, looks rounder, fuller. If you're trying to build muscle, you look like you've built a little muscle, even though it's transient, it's temporary. So everybody's known about this for a long time, but there was no category of supplements until mid to late 90s when they started advertising supplements that helped you get a better pump. And then there was brilliant marketing around it. They actually showed, before and afters always sell a lot of everything in the fitness space. Yeah. But these were the most brilliant before and afters because it was before the workout, right after the workout. And, so
they were real because anybody who's ever...
I look like I gained 15 pounds of muscle when I pumped.
By the way, I love talking about this too because I also think it sheds light for the general pop that listens to this that follows influencers and fitness people and a lot. And I'm speaking to like the fitness pages that are like all their physique and their body and looking jacked and stuff like that. Like 99% of people that post these pictures online do it after
after the effect.
Nobody posts it without a pump.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I used to.
afterwards.
I used to. That was like a thing I prided myself on. Was I used to post these pictures of myself first thing in the morning when I was flat, and I knew I was to show the difference. That was more because I knew how much I could dramatically shift the way I look, and so that people have this perception of people just walk around looking like this all the time, and no, they don't. Like we all look very different, especially
the more muscle you have.
Yeah, we're all 6 foot plus guys, right? So we're all not. Everyone's in here is over 200 pounds, over 6 foot tall. You air a 6 foot plus tall, 200-pound dude up, and he looks different, way different.
Or if you're a woman and you're training, all of a sudden you look like you have more tone, more sculpt, more roundness to whatever you're training, and so you can get it's a very addictive feeling. And so they started selling supplements around this, and the promise of the supplements was to improve blood flow. Because it's the blood, right, that goes in the muscle. Mm-hmm. So we will sell you supplements that increase nitric oxide, increase blood flow. That should give you a better pump. That's actually not what gives you a better pump necessarily. It really has more to do with a lot of other things. Yes. And now, nailing these things down that I'm about to say should give you better results. And not just the pump, but overall because they're all important factors. But what we're about to go over, there is no supplement on the market. You could even take a PDE5 inhibitor prescription drug like Viagra, which ain't nothing going to improve nitric oxide as much as that, and that will not give you a pump like what we're about to talk about. Now, the first thing is to be well hydrated. Drink a lot of water. In fact,
cells need it.
Most of the fluid, your muscles are 70% fluid. Okay, 70%. If you're a little dehydrated, you're going to notice that in your workout with your pump. You're also going to notice that with your performance. You're also going to notice that with the recovery, your soreness, your muscles' ability to build, all those different things. So fluid and hydration is very, very important, but it's especially important for the pump. Now, just personally speaking, for me, I work out in the morning. I typically don't eat before I work out. It just works best on my schedule. So I'm working out 6:30, 7 a.m. When I work out, I know I should drink at least a quarter gallon of water going into the workouts. And when I do that, I get a better pump. When I don't, which I've done before, I don't drink any water, then I go into the workout. It is noticeably different, just that alone. So be really well hydrated leading up to the workout. By the way, that alone, we're going to talk about other stuff, but that alone will crush any pre-workout, post, pump supplement or whatever.
I mean, I don't even know a better way to say this because I think it's even beyond quote unquote hydrated, because I think I don't want to say that and then people go, well, I always drink water. I get up, first thing I do is I drink a glass of water. I saw benefits all the way up to about a half a gallon. I could drink up to a half a gallon of water before my workout. I normally train around noon when I was training. So
that was for the day?
Yeah, if I needed to have a half a gallon already in me, and then I would drink more during the workout, right? Yeah. Many times I'd try and get the other half gallon through in the workout. I saw benefits of that all the way up. And the lower I went, the less I saw. So I would even make the case that it's more than just being hydrated, because you could have what your body needs, but then for optimal pumps, I mean, I feel like you got to be loaded. Yeah. I feel like it makes it, and the bigger you are, the bigger difference.
What a lot of people do is they remember to drink water during their workout, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the pump to really happen or maximize that feeling of that fullness, you want to have that water before the workout. Now, I don't mean pound a half a gallon right before your workout. It's a great way to throw up.
Yeah.
And that's actually can be dangerous at some point. But leading up to the workout, make sure you have adequate water. And it depends on how much time you have. Like I said, I work out first thing in the morning. A half a gallon for me would be too much.
It'd be tough.
I'd have to like consciously pound it, which wouldn't feel good. But a quarter gallon for me is doable because I wake up at 5 a.m. So by the time I work out around 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's doable for me to do that. And when I do that, it's a significant difference. And every client I've ever trained, anybody I've ever worked with, that one tip right there trumps every other pump supplement that exists on the market.
Yeah.
Next is to have some sodium. Sodium allows that, it really helps your body hold on to that water. So we all know sodium makes you retain water. Well, retain means you keep it in. You don't just pee it out. So when you're having this water, adding some electrolytes or having a meal with it with some sodium makes a huge difference. Huge difference. Now, in fact,
It keeps you hydrated longer.
this isn't necessarily a healthy tip, but I always noticed, because again, I work out first thing in the morning. If I have a high sodium, not so healthy meal the night before, and I woke up feeling a little bit like I'm holding water, I knew I'm probably gonna get a crazy pump when I work out. Even though I'm kind of holding water, not feeling so good, I knew my workout would give me a crazy, crazy pump. Sodium with water, this is how you hold on to that water and keep it in those muscle cells.
Well, this is okay. So again, the next, I'm getting ahead a little bit because the next one is carbs, but I think you can talk to these at the same time because I think this helps explain the Pop-Tart phenomenon, the Sour Patch phenomenon. Is those are fast-acting carbs with lots of sodium, and that's why it became so popular in the bodybuilding community to have a couple of these Pop-Tarts or donuts, having donuts, Pop-Tarts. I know it sounds ridiculous and crazy, but here's the thing though. The reason why it was so popular is because it worked for the pump.
Yeah.
If you
you could get the effects from white rice.
yeah,
potato,
you could get, there's a
You don't need to
much,
go Pop-Tarts and
there's a much healthier way to get the same effect
marketable.
and a better but this is why this is why it has legs. This is why it took off. This is why it's so popular. Because, making yourself a high sodium, healthy meal with lots of carbs. So I even had the number down. Like I knew that 75 grams or more of carbohydrates before the workout, in addition to sodium, in addition to the half gallon water, it resulted in the craziest pumps I've ever had, better than any of the best supplements.
Now, just to back you up, again, I work out in the morning. I don't eat before I work out. It's too early for me. It just works best on my schedule. But there are the occasional workouts that I have around noon. When that happens, and it's typically when we're not working and I'm at home and it works out that way. If I have a meal in the morning with a good 50 to 75 grams of carbohydrates, plus water, plus sodium, and then I work out at noon, it's always a better pump. Always a better pump. It's far more intense. I feel much more connected to my muscles as a result. By the way, that's one of the other benefits of a pump. When you get the pump in a target muscle, it's hard to not feel that muscle with subsequent sets. So if you have a tough time connecting to a muscle, getting a pump in it is a great way to get you to be able to connect to that muscle, because now while you're exercising it or training it, you've got that feedback from that muscle and you can go, oh, this is how I flex my lats, or this is how I work my glutes, or whatever. The last one is to get good sleep. Poor sleep is a great way to reduce your body's ability for good blood flow. The hormone cortisol goes up. Your body is not primed for recovery. It's not primed for strength. It's not primed for performance. And poor sleep is a pump killer. Absolute pump killer.
The central nervous system is definitely suppressed when you don't get good sleep. So you're not even going to be firing that effectively.
Is that mostly what it is? Because what's physiologically happening that's reducing the pump in that situation?
Yeah.
Like what's happening? Because all the things you just listed, water, sodium, carbs, aren't necessarily impacted by the sleep.
No.
So if those are the biggest factors, then what is sleep? What role? Now we know
central nervous system, and I would say it probably has to do with cortisol. This is all speculation on my part, but I know this just through experience that poor sleep, probably because the intensity of the workout sucks the next day, is what I would guess.
So that's what
That's a limiter.
because I've never connected that, but I can definitely agree that anytime I've ever had shitty sleep and I worked out, it was not there definitely was not on the same day I had one of the best pumps in my life. I know that, but I would probably attribute it to I just didn't have it in the workout.
Yeah.
I was moving. I was lethargic. I was inflamed going into the workout. I just, it felt more like I was surviving than those amazing. Because let me tell you another thing that's nice about the hydrated, lots of water, lots of sodium and carbs. Your energy is up too. Like you just feel great. Like it's those workouts remind me of the workouts where I had to tell myself I needed to leave, right? Because you just, every exercise feels good. Your joints are lubricated. So you're not achy, you're moving. I mean, that's the cool part about this is you're getting more than just the pump benefits that are contributing to a good workout.
Yeah. Hey, sorry to interrupt. Look, I have a free guide that teaches you how to lose fat in 3 steps, just 3 steps that will burn the most amount of body fat and help keep it off. This guide is totally free. We're giving it to everybody right now. If you want it, click on the link at the top of the description below. All right, back to the show. By the way, supplement-wise, there is a supplement, because I know there's a whole category of supplements, right, that are supposedly they help you get a better pump. And the way they do it is through boosting nitric oxide, which, by the way, is healthy. Nitric oxide boost is good for you cardiovascularly. It's good for your blood vessels. The amino acid citrulline does this pretty well. There's some other supplements out there that do this pretty well.
Well,
I'm sorry?
I got something for you.
What?
I mean, the new Legion gummies have got sodium, carbohydrates in them, and then you're taking your creatine.
I was just going to say, creatine.
So, bingo, bango, boom.
Creatine is the ultimate pump supplement. Ultimate.
I mean,
because of the increase in ATP and because you will have more hydrated muscle bellies from creatine. This is why you
can almost market it exclusively as a pump.
Listen,
supplement.
there is no supplement aside from what we said with water and sodium and carbs. Like that's all the big rocks, but there is no supplement that will increase intracellular fluid, intramuscular fluid like creatine. Right. That's why you gain 1 to 3 pounds on the scale. You're not fatter, you're not bloated, your muscles are fuller. That's a better pump. So when someone takes creatine and they know what a pump feels like, what they'll comment on is, "Oh my God, my pumps are crazy."
Yeah,
it's from the creatine.
Yeah.
Creatine is by far the most effective.
Well, I mean, I've told you guys, I've shared on the podcast many times that the most consistent I was with taking creatine was when I was in a massive cut getting ready for a show because I could feel, I felt like I had to do. Let me tell you, when you're cutting, it's really hard to get good pumps. That's actually one of the most discouraging.
Especially if your carbs are low.
Yes, that's one of the most discouraging things about cutting for a show is you're so depleted and you're carb cycling. So there's like 2 days in a row where I'm getting little to no carbohydrates when we just got done telling you that's like one of the biggest factors that play a role. And so when the carbs are really low, sodium also comes down a little bit. So sodium's low, carbs are low. Only thing I got working for me is water and creatine.
Yep. Yeah.
And so at least the water and creatine would fill me up a little bit, make me feel like, okay, it's not so bad.
Like
so
I'm doing something.
That was the most consistent I ever was with creatine until the gummies came.
Yeah, I know.
now I don't miss a day.
They did a good job too. Yeah. What is it? How many for 5 grams is it? 5?
5.
So it's 5 gummies. You get 5 grams.
I think it's 5 for 5 grams.
5 grams of creatine monohydrate.
That's a good question, actually.
It tastes good. That's crushing right now.
Yeah, 5 gummies is the recommended.
Can I just tell you guys something right now about
15 grams of carbs, 50 milligrams of sodium.
So here, I'm just going to be like super transparent with the audience right now. Super transparent. So Mike, who runs Legion, one of the smartest people in the supplement space, tons of respect for the guy, okay? One of the smartest people by far. He comes out with creatine gummies. I think a lot of people in the supplement space saw that gummies were a great way to get people to stay consistent with their supplements. Here's the segment of the market. There's a segment of the market where creatine can still explode. And it's starting to grow here, but it has yet to really take off. And that's with the female consumer.
Yes.
I think gummies are going to make a bigger dent. I think it's more attractive to women to take gummies. It's more attractive for everybody to take gummies. I think women have been afraid to take creatine because they have heard, it makes you bloated.
The water
retention. It does not. Yeah. Bloat is under your skin. This is muscle fullness. Your muscles will feel fuller and tighter and more, quote unquote, toned. You're going to have better body composition from what you get from creatine.
I'm waiting for, and I'm surprised since
as soon as women adopt creatine, which they will, because it's the most effective
supplement. So let's say maybe Michael.
It's gonna
maybe Mike will hear this and he'll do it because obviously everybody's jumping on the not only creatine but obviously creatine gummies is getting it. We already have 2 partners that are doing it. So we talked about doing it. Who is going to, and I agree with you that women are the market to go after right now. Men have been using creatine for a very long time. A lot of women, this is an overgeneralization.
Hardcore fitness women are taking creatine.
Right. This is an overgeneralization for me to say, but there's obviously the biggest opportunities with women. I think we all agree.
Period.
How are you not marketing this as like a butt volumizer?
Of course,
because that is one of the biggest muscles. That is one of the biggest muscles on your body.
It's going to be rounder.
The water gets held in your muscles. You talk about selling the idea of it making your butt more round. Why are they not running ads like that? If I was running ads, that's exactly how I would do it.
Here's where the supplement industry. This is how stupid they are sometimes. Okay. Creatine comes out late 90s, builds muscle, makes you stronger, best performance enhancing supplements, not a hormone. Then we keep getting research. Wow, it's actually good for you. It's good for cognitive performance. Then supplement marketers are like, oh, here's how we're going to sell it to women. We're going to tell them that we have a bloat-free version of creatine. And what they did inadvertently is they sold the idea that creatine makes you bloated.
Yep.
You idiots. That's first of all, it's a lie. Yeah. And by trying to sell to women, you lied. And then you scared a bunch of women away from taking, here's how you sell creatine to women. You tell the truth. It builds muscle, and it's the most potent fat-burning supplement there is because of the muscle-building process. It speeds up the metabolism through the muscle-building process. Yes, your weight goes up on the scale a little bit, but you're not fatter or bigger. You have more lean body mass. Yep. Is what you, and it's actually a little bit leaner as a body fat percentage, a little bit leaner. So yeah, when this goes, and oh, by the way, it's good for your skin. I'm not making this up. Look up the data. It doesn't just hydrate your muscles, it hydrates your skin.
Well, if it holds water in the cells, it makes sense that it would be good for your skin.
They're putting it in skincare products now too. You're starting to see creatine creams and stuff.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. Anywhere there's mitochondria, which is all your cells, they're going to perform better with creatine. Once the beauty market adopts creatine as a supplement, it's game over. It's going to go main, and it should. There is no supplement that exists with more peer-reviewed data than creatine. That's like thousands of studies. So, yeah.
Hey, did you guys? Did either one of you? Probably not. Okay, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Are either one of you guys watching the show that
Lioness?
Yes,
not yet.
Oh, have you?
No, I still go through Silo and then Dune Prophecy.
Are you kidding me?
Dune, where?
The sickest show ever. I'll get into Lioness because I've heard you rave about it.
I'll watch that.
It's so good. It's on HBO.
So the reason why I bring that up, this was funny. Okay, so Doug and I have been watching it, so I've been like texting back with him.
You guys go hang out together.
We do. We
watch
hang,
TV
yeah,
together and stuff.
That's why we don't invite you guys anymore. Like they're so lame. They don't even do that stuff.
Get
anymore.
under a blanket. Yeah. Is it scary?
We do. We text each other
Popcorn,
back and forth.
all the whole
But
thing.
he's like, "Hey, do you?" He asked me. He's like, "Do you recognize the dad, the husband of the main lady, right? The main character, Lioness, is after." He's like, "Do you recognize the guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Actually, I was telling Katrina, I'm like, "What is he in that we know?" He's like, "No, he's with one of our partners." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, look at him again." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "That is him. He's one of the Caldera guys."
Caldera Lab?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Look up Caldera Labs commercial.
Was that Frank?
What's his name, Doug?
Yeah, Dave Annable.
Dave Annable is his name?
Yes.
You guys have seen him for sure. You'll
He's been in
recognize.
a lot of different shows.
Oh yeah, but I didn't put that together until Doug said something, and I went, "Oh shit, that's crazy."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Caldera guy.
Oh wow.
he-
What do
So
you
I
mean
was watching
guy?
the show. I go, I know this guy.
What do
I've
you
seen
mean
him
a
somewhere.
guy? He's a model for them, or
No.
He's been in their commercials?
Yeah, he's one of their models.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's obviously he's a partner.
'cause I've seen him.
He's a partner of Caldera Lab, like we are, and he has been since I think day one.
Oh, he's our age.
I think Frank Grillo's another one. He's another actor.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's another one that's part of Caldera Lab.
He's our
but
age.
He's I didn't know that until right now until he just pulled that up. He plays a surgeon to the husband to the main lady who's in Lioness.
He's a handsome fellow, isn't he?
Handsome guy, huh?
No, they did that. They got. I didn't realize he was our age.
Salt and pepper.
Yeah. Wow. You know, it's funny what you just said. It's connected to what we were just talking about. What Caldera Lab did is they made skincare products that were not touching the male market. They were able to hit the male market effectively, and that's why they're crushing.
100%.
Yep.
And that's what creatine can do with the female market.
100%.
Wow.
Totally.
I mean, that was okay. I don't know about you guys.
Well, it's Viore with the male market.
The
too.
number one, they did a good job also. So that was previous Christmases. Number one ask request from family has been pretty consistent, has been Viore.
I know.
This is the first year Caldera Lab took it.
Oh, they took it over.
Number one was my family was asking for Caldera Lab or where to get it or what our partner code was.
Wow.
Yeah. Viore has
had
been
a lot of requests for
for
that
pretty
too.
consistent. Viore's been one of the top, but this year was Caldera Lab.
Speaking of, like, we were just talking about his age. Have you guys, you know what I watched recently? Jessica wanted to watch old Christmas movies, and we watched, what's the one with Chevy Chase? National Lampoon's?
yeah.
My
The original
favorite.
one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the best.
Did people just look older back then? Because in the movie, he's younger than we are.
Yeah.
But he
I know.
doesn't look it.
Is he supposed to?
You know what's a
Yeah, well,
hilarious
no, the actors-
version of that is Wilford Brimley, right? Remember the old guy that was like, Quaker Oats
Yeah,
commercials and like, you know, dude, you thought like he was 80 already.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
he
all-
was only like 40.
That's
Serious.
that's always TV. TV's been like that forever. Like look at like all your 90210.
Yeah.
Like high school. They're always like 25-year-olds
Yeah, but
playing
I'm
in high
talking,
school.
that was-
I'm talking about real life. How old was Chevy Chase in National Lampoons? I bet you he was in his 30s.
Oh,
He
you
was
think he was?
young.
You think
Yeah.
he was playing an older?
No, I think he was playing in his 30s too.
Oh, because
But
a lot of times actors will be older
Yes.
playing a younger.
Well, especially
Yeah.
the younger roles.
Well, yeah, the younger ones for sure.
Yeah, like
but-
Fast Time at Ridgemont.
Okay, that'd be interesting. What? How old was Chevy Chase when he
In National
and
Lampoon.
yeah, and what did he
Vacation
play?
or Christmas?
Christmas.
Yeah,
He was 46 years old.
Oh well, I guess he
okay,
was.
yeah.
He still
Yeah.
looked. Okay.
He looks pretty good.
yeah,
He
you
did.
were wrong.
He looked all right.
Uncle Eddie, dude, that's my favorite.
I always think that's interesting. They have these. You have the shows where they're always way older. They're playing like a 17-year-old or 20. You're like, dude, he's like a like a grown ass man. He's like
They're in high school. You're
Yeah,
like,
they're high
right,
school.
dude.
Yeah, and they have full beard and so.
My cousin, I'm really, really close to my cousin. Him and I grew up together. Like we totally grew up together, right? Always with each other. He just turned 46, and it just hit me like, bro, you're closer to 50 than you are 40. And he's like, you're next, bro. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening right now? Time is
know,
going by
it's-
so fast.
the weird part.
accelerated.
The weird part.
And what's weird is what I used to consider old, I don't anymore.
Oh, 100%.
The
Yeah.
old, I've talked about this, right? The data on this.
We're already
is-
past the over the hill when they used to have those parties. It was
oh,
like,
that's
you're
what
over
you
the
were
hill.
talking about.
Yeah, so Wilford Brimley, it was like in his 50s when he did those commercials.
Yeah, it looks like he
He
was
looks
in
like
his
he's
60s or
80.
70s.
Come on.
Wow, he's only 50 right there.
In the Quaker Oats, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do Quaker Oats then. Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Don't eat oatmeal.
Oh, this oats are so
Apparently it
good.
makes you want to look older than you really are.
I mean, I called this way back when we
Yeah,
first
dude.
started. There was, and I'm pretty sure it's right about now.
What?
That the
When Doug
time
says-
will come
Doug's going
when,
backwards?
yes, there's somebody listening to the show right now who's a new. Like, every day we get new listeners, right? So right now there's somebody who's just listening to Mind Pump. Hopefully they hung in this far, and they look at all of us and they guess our age. Doug, they think is not the oldest.
No.
They do not think he's the oldest.
At least the same, maybe.
Yeah, same or younger. There's for sure.
It's gonna switch.
Well-
you know, it's gonna like
They've
take
done
over.
They've done studies on this that what people consider to be old is 20 years older than them. So regardless of where your age is, and I forget what cutoff at some point, then you're like, okay, I'm old. But 20. So if I were to tell you right now,
That
like,
makes sense.
if I were to say to you, like, do you
What-
think 54 is old?
No.
You're like, yeah, no. 64, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's 20 years older than you.
that's a good point.
But
it is. That is right.
When I was, I remember like yesterday where I thought like 35 was old. You know what I mean? Like, oh, 35. Now I see a 35-year-old. I'm like, look at a baby.
Yeah,
Kid.
stop it.
Yeah, here's more milk.
Some more milk. I'm gonna burp you.
You know what I'm saying? I know.
Oh, bro,
It's crazy.
I don't know. I'm not accepting it. I'm still hanging on to being young as much as I
Yeah,
possibly
we
can.
know.
I had. Hey, I'll have you know. So we went to. Justin was at the same hotel as me. We stayed at Meritage, right, in Sonoma. Great hotel too. What a cool place. And Katrina was teasing me because I was like glowing after that. And we were checking in, and the bellboy had to been, I don't know, like 24-year-old black kid, like stylish. You could tell us with that. And we're checking in, and I can see him in the corner of my eye, like looking me up and down. And now I'm always weird. I'm always like, is this going to be somebody who knows who we
show,
are?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like watching the corner of my eye, like waiting for him to say something. And he finally does say something, but it's not because he knows who I am, but he's just like,
your shoes.
yeah, here's my whole fit. You know, he's like, he made a comment on my whole outfit like that. And so I'm like,
Was he your bellboy?
yeah.
Oh, so he's trying to get a tip.
Yeah. This was before the big tip too.
That's what it was.
I'm like looking in the bills. Like, this is the biggest one I got. I got you, bro. He was actually, so shout out because he's probably listening now. So, because I did tell him what we did. He ended up asking what we did, and he's a trainer.
Oh,
Yeah. So I told him
and he wasn't familiar with our show?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, which that always. I mean, that's still to this day. Like,
Darn, we need to reach more trainers.
He did not. He had no idea. He was now. Granted, I do think that's not our like. He was early 20s. I think that if you're into fitness and you're late 20s, 30s to 40s is
That's our key demographic.
yes, yeah.
It's funny, like along those lines. Because I don't handle my social media on Instagram. I have an assistant that does it. If there's questions, she'll forward them to me or whatever. But I just don't manage it because I've got myself kicked off twice. So I think that was a big.
Just so the audience knows, he's the only one that does that. The rest of us actually run our pages.
Yeah. Because I'm the only one that got kicked
It's
off.
actually me.
Yeah. So she posted a picture from our Christmas party with me and Jessica. And I didn't know. I didn't see any of the comments or whatever. Jessica's like best friend Nicole screenshots the comments. She goes, "Look how sweet these comments are." And my wife didn't even know, we posted a picture. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you posted a picture of me." She doesn't like when I do that. So I'm reading the comments. And it's like, "Wow, she looks half your age," or "Wow, how old is she? You're really dating her young." I'm like, "Damn, dude, she's younger, but Jesus Christ."
How many years do you have on her?
8.
Oh, that's not that much.
No.
Yeah,
People are like, she's half my age.
Yeah. I mean, what's the cutoff? 10?
For what?
Like age? Like what do you?
Yeah, before it's like,
Yeah. When what's 10? You say 10 is the cutoff?
For like what? I don't understand what you mean. Like when it's weird?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what the fuck I mean.
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Probably.
like never.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? You don't understand where I'm going with this
I
question?
mean, obviously 18 because you have to. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So, like,
So gross.
like you do know you're almost 50, right? Because
right, like, you're
even
getting up
25 is off
It
now,
is
dog.
starting to look a little weird.
Yeah, 25 is off.
Probably 10, huh? I would say.
I just think that 10 is like
Yeah.
a 10 is like
It's a big gap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Doug?
Hey, sorry to interrupt you. Look, are you lifting weights, eating a ton of food, and struggling? You're not packing on any muscle. You're not building any muscle at all. You're not getting stronger. Well, check it out. We have a hard gainer guide. This can be your ultimate resource to turn that around. Pack on some muscle mass with our hard gainer guide. It's totally free. You can get it by downloading it, clicking on the link in the description below.
Well, Rachel's 13 years younger than me.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Is she really 13?
Yeah, 13 years younger.
Oh, wow.
So I think at least 13 years.
I mean, I think as you age, it does
Then
grow.
the gap can grow.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
The
Because
gap-
of maturity.
Yeah.
It's a maturity thing.
Well, then, and also too, like how well you take care of yourself. I mean, Doug, you could easily pass this 10 years younger.
yeah.
So if you could-
technically, she's only 3 years younger than you.
Perfect.
If we do
That's
that.
how I think of it.
Yeah,
You know?
Maybe that's how it is. It's really like how young you could pass for. That's where it starts. That's 10 years before whatever
I
you
just
could
don't
pass
understand. Who was it? I think it was the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers with his girlfriend.
Yeah, they've had some.
She's
really-
like 20 or
Bro,
19.
that's fucking Hollywood, bro.
Yeah, but
Come on.
what are you talking? Like, why do you hang
Anthony
such a child?
Kiedis?
Who are you hanging out? What are you guys doing?
There's
Yeah, but that's not as bad as like who's the last guy that was? It was the
Al
Patriots.
Pacino. Hey, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino just had a
Robert
kid.
De Niro have had kids with like 50, 60 years old difference, dude.
You're ancient. You're like 90 years old and you're still having kids. But yeah, I mean, I think it's more of that. It's like you're really old and then you're going to the 20-year-olds. It's like, come on.
Yeah, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
She's giving you your
nothing.
vitamins in the
We
morning.
know exactly what's
tucking you into bed.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
yeah, God.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it's 10 years younger than you look. Because you should get some leeway if you've done a really good job.
Then my wife is 20 half my age if that's the case.
Well, no, you think you look way older?
I think maybe.
I don't think
know.
you look
by the
way
way, I
older.
think
it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He's the last one I was trying to think of who's like dating some really young
Bill
girl.
Belichick. Look at his girlfriend. He's got a huge gap for his. But I think
who's DiCaprio? He's the famous guy that does that, right?
Yeah.
He always upgrades.
He breaks up with them every time.
he goes with the younger one. Yeah.
up, downgrades. if you will.
Yeah, I don't think you look that much older. I mean, Jessica looks young.
Yeah.
And I think you look your age.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I don't think you look old.
No, it doesn't look that crazy.
Yeah.
I believe you because you wouldn't use this opportunity to talk shit. About me.
Yeah, we would definitely.
I know you wouldn't. There's no reason for you.
We would keep pulling that
Yeah,
thread.
no, if
dude.
there was an
We'd be talking
opportunity for me to
the
talk
whole
some
rest
shit,
of
I would. You know what I'm saying?
the episode. Like, oh, finally somebody noticed. You know?
But maybe because I feel the same way about myself, maybe that's why I feel that way about you. I mean, Katrina always gets compliments on how they think she's young all the time.
Yeah.
She always, when she tells people her, because she's older than me. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, it's
Katrina's got a
funny.
year
Like,
on me.
even like a 4-year, like so with Courtney and I, it's like
Is it how many?
You're 4 years?
4, yeah. But being like in high school, and I'm talking about high school stuff, like when I was there, and then I'm like, oh yeah, you were like in elementary school, like ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Jessica will talk about shows.
You're
that she-
4 older than Courtney?
Yeah.
Why? I thought she was the same year as me. Oh, she's younger than me then too.
younger,
I didn't realize that.
No, Jessica will talk about a show she watched when she was a kid, and I'll be like, "Oh, that's my." I remember my little sister was watching
Yeah.
that. You know?
Well, you're the oldest too,
Yeah,
so that's
totally.
like different because you have young little brothers and sisters like that. That's funny.
Hey, I got some fitness studies. We should bring it back to fitness. I got some fitness studies.
Hey, did you hear that guy?
Take
The guy
some
who
heat off you.
The guy who we did a live question. It always makes me think that too. I mean, sometimes like you started what 2 years ago when you started doing the fitness tip?
Yes.
Has it been 2 years?
I'm
No,
pretty
it's
sure
got to be. It's maybe is it more than that?
No, I think it was about that.
Because you heard it. I think he was 3 years or more. The guy who lost the 100
and you
pounds.
talked about the podcast,
And he made the comment about how, somebody turned. I mean, that was like the big fear. Like, how many hundreds or thousands of people do you think we lost in the first 5
Then he
years?
follows it up that it's his favorite part now. It's like that's the conundrum.
Well, that was what screwed us, was because we would hear that, and so we had this
we'd
bias
keep it,
of like, oh yeah, these are the people that love the show. They love that part. Well, yeah,
Right.
but we got them, and then they hung
the
around.
new ones we weren't getting.
Well, so all right, so I got a study. I'm going to go take a left here. So this study looked at they researched prenatal supplements. So these are supplements that women take to get pregnant and then taking during pregnancy, or in preparation for pregnancy and then taking during pregnancy. And you guys know that, especially choline, right? Very important. You get enough choline while pregnant to reduce the risks of certain birth defects and stuff like that. This study came back and showed that less than 50% of many prenatal supplements have the adequate amount of choline.
Oh, it sucks.
Really?
Yeah, you know what's crazy about this?
That's
If you ate eggs, you would get it.
exactly.
Eggs. Eggs are a very high source, a great source
This
of
affects
choline.
your IQ, right?
Yes,
They're talking
dude.
about
It'll
that.
affect your child's IQ. They also found in some of the supplements toxic metals.
I also don't you think, Sal, that some of this too, because you said 50%, right?
Yep.
A lot of this is exacerbated by like going to a CVS or
course.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
Like
it's
a
the crappy version of the
there's
supplement.
just and there's 1,000 different supplements
Yes.
on there, and I mean I don't even know how they decide whether a supplement is, 'cause it's not like Target and CVS are vetting each one of these supplement brands. They're operating under whatever the little bit of regulation that there is around
is
it.
none.
Yeah, which is none. And so it's like, cool, you get a pass. It's more, I think what they do is like, can you produce 10 million of these if we need 10 million?
If they can move product within their shelving, and then they see which ones move and they keep them.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
think one of the best things you could do, my wife was really good about this. Now I get it's tough, especially during the first trimester. So I get that, because the first trimester, oftentimes you're so nauseous. This is very difficult. But what she did is she researched foods that contained high amounts of the nutrients that were important for development. And so my wife was eating eggs. She was eating fish roe because of the fatty acids in there. She was eating sardines. She was eating organ meats. And that's the best way to guarantee that you're getting the nutrients that you need. But eggs, man. Eggs are the best. It's like nature's multivitamin, especially if you're pregnant or getting pregnant because of the choline. Because that's a depressing statistic.
I want to do a full episode on all the things that your wife is not good at.
Oh, that's a short episode, guys.
That was
A short episode.
We won't have a
You always bring up
podcast.
the things. You always bring up the things that she's so good at.
Why would I bring up things she's not good at?
We won't
You guys
have a
want to hear?
podcast. We won't have a podcast.
You want to hear
come
something
back to.
stupid about? That's a terrible husband to broadcast that. That's private conversations, guys. So, all right, I got another study for you guys. So they linked processed foods or the consumption of processed foods to muscle quality. Here's what's cool about this, by the way. We're now doing studies on muscle quality, not just that you have muscle, but rather the quality of your muscle. And poor quality muscle typically has fat storage within the muscle, kind of like a ribeye, like it's marble.
Did you hear about this before, Gabrielle Lyon? Because I never really heard anyone talk about this until her.
Nope.
Muscle quality, wasn't really something.
Which is great because lean body mass doesn't show this, right? By the way, this is why strength is stronger correlation to health than muscle mass, because strength will tell you more about muscle quality than just, if we did a scan and said, oh, you have this much lean
But do
body
you
mass.
think, Sal, you could have a really high level of lean body mass and also
Yes, have poor muscle quality. Or at least it doesn't tell you the whole story. You're right. Because if you have a lot of lean body mass, you probably built it.
Right.
But it doesn't tell you the whole quality,
If it's
right?
marbled in, like, is it really factoring?
Because
that?
I guess what I'm getting at, is it possible to have a bodybuilder guy who's got a bunch of like terrible?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Not that much. But the point is, it doesn't give you a full story.
But
it doesn't tell you the full story.
It does make and it does make me ask questions though, like could though that bodybuilder over time, because he has so many dirty bulks, that the lean body mass he does have isn't as high of a quality
or
as somebody.
maybe someone with genetics where they just hold more muscle mass, but they're totally out of shape, right? So you say, oh, you have good lean body mass, but the muscle quality,
which we've all seen people like that. They just have got like farm strength.
Yeah.
They never even.
Come on, we all have that old uncle with massive calves. Like I'm sure that who doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be Justin one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that position.
So anyway,
That's right, kids.
Just wearing shorts year round.
Yeah.
Always. It's fucking 30 degrees outside in shorts.
I'm over here working my calves
shorts
like crazy.
Yeah, shorts and contractor
My
boots
fat,
with
ugly
no
shirt.
I'm going
socks.
to be that old guy with those short shorts and things hanging out.
Dude. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, a diet high in ultra processed foods is associated with higher amounts of fat stored inside. And they use the thigh muscles to measure this, regardless of the amount of calories consumed or level of physical activity. That's the crazy part.
That is crazy.
That's the crazy part. So just this kind of food isn't healthy. And this is just more evidence that shows that.
What is it that's in it? Because what would
There's so much more to the story than we think. I think a majority of the story is the overconsumption of calories, the not taking enough protein. But I do think there's more to it because there's data that points to this. Now it's not conclusive because oftentimes you could explain it away by saying it's the overconsumption of calories. But I do think that based off the data that there's probably other things that we haven't yet identified fully. And I'm not going to say, I'm not going to speculate like a lot of the wellness people do because I just haven't seen the data that's conclusive. But I will agree that there's something else about ultra processed food beside the fact that it makes you overeat that makes it inherently unhealthy. These frankenfoods. And again, this is another study that kind of points in that direction. Not a perfect study, but I think those foods just across the board, even if you consume the right amount of calories, should probably be avoided regardless.
I mean, I feel like it's anybody who has ever disciplined themselves to do something like a Whole30 or just do an extended period of time where you just eat whole foods. And it doesn't have to be that long, like 30 days. 30 days, if you've never done that, I challenge you to do that. Because to me, I feel like it's very clear. I've never heard somebody do that and not come back and report
way better
how they feel. And the calories can be the same because you could let the other person be on the IIFM and maybe they feel good too because they probably if they follow their macros and they don't go overeat, they're going to feel better than what they would feel like over consuming and not working out those things. But compare them to the person who eats nothing but whole foods. Like,
well, this is kind of a weird thought, but how I've heard hunters report this in terms of bears when they're close to like a lot of berries and they consume a lot of these fruits and berries and things before the winter comes and they eat. The quality of the meat tastes sweet and it tastes like it has like it acquires this,
of course.
And so in terms of that being what we're consuming and like it'd be interesting in
how
terms
we taste
like how we taste.
Not
necessarily how we taste, but like you know what I'm saying,
like
you could tell what you ate, like maybe it is how you taste.
Are we like healthy people or like the fit and healthy people
like crunchy?
Like the grass-fed version?
Yeah.
Aliens are like, it's better for you, but
it's like you're tough, but they're like,
I mean, that's why that 24-hour fitness was the best ad in the world. They'll take the fat ones first. Because they probably taste the best.
Did you see, by the way,
probably true.
Have you guys seen the headlines that are going around right now? I had to look deeper into it. So the headline reads, this new CIA paper claims that there was life on Mars and they were large humanoid beings that also built the pyramids.
Stop
this
it.
is a CIA
Stop
paper.
it, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Now, hold on. I
How's
looked
this
deeper
not-
into it. It's a real paper. It really is a paper.
Yeah.
But the way they came
The
to this...
Freedom Information Act,
Yes,
right?
but it wasn't like they found evidence. These were the remote viewers that said this.
Oh, remote. No,
The remote
that
viewers
discredits
said
it
this.
immediately.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you, it's like a headline. I'm like, wait, is this a real paper? I'm looking up news. I'm like, oh my God, it's a real paper.
because
what the hell?
I thought you were going to say like bacteria or something.
No.
I think they've figured.
I mean, Justin's theory of like numbing us with all this stuff because it's coming real soon here. I could get behind that because I'm already there. Like literally an alien a fucking UFO could land out in our parking lot right now. I don't even know if I get up.
Yeah. But that's CGI.
I'd tell Dylan to grab a camera. You know what I'm saying? Grab a camera. Let me know. You'll get some footage.
Optical illusion, or something. I don't know.
I don't think I would. I serious. Like if that happened right now, who gets up right now out of all of us and sprints there? Sal for sure does. I mean, you would too.
I'd be interested.
Yeah, Doug and I probably hang back.
Yeah, you guys are.
Tell Dylan. Dylan, go get the footage.
fake news.
Yeah.
It's but I mean,
We got work to do.
You've read about the Nephilim, right? You've read about the Nephilim, and you know what that is?
No.
Oh, it talks about that in Genesis. It's these were
Loosely.
fallen angels that mated with humans and created these warrior class of people. They got wiped out during the flood, and there's lots of speculation. Who were the Nephilim? Were they giants? Were they?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's what people were saying with the CIA paper. Like they're the Nephilim.
It's the Nephilim.
That's how they built the pyramids. They picked up the blocks by hand.
See, my science fiction brain goes crazy with that. I'm like, yes.
No, dude.
I think that's probably the most exciting part about any of this stuff happening is like what science fiction movie got it most right. Like who was the closest?
I know.
I do think Independence Day is pretty good about how we'll just what will come out. That's what like all these UFOs we're seeing right now. You'll come out and you'll just see this massive thing outside in the sky. That would freak
I hope it's
everybody
not
out.
like War of the Worlds. Even my son was freaked out. I showed him that one, with Tom Cruise.
That was
in
intense,
dude.
Very
and
intense.
they're collecting everybody, and then they're just like
Spraying
them out so that they could grow their own alien plants.
Of all the alien invasion movies, that one was the most clever. The original was the most clever. How smart, right? For us,
It was a radio broadcast.
Yes, but it was a book.
It
was a book. But it's so clever, right? It's like these aliens are invading. We're helpless. They're destroying us. And then they suddenly die.
Remind me of the story of what happened because didn't it get read on a radio and it caused all kinds of pandemonium or something like that.
Pull it up, Doug. So pull up the story about it.
Yeah, remind me.
They started this radio
It's like in the
broadcast.
60s, right?
No,
before
earlier,
that.
40s or 50s.
Even earlier.
Oh, yeah, 40s, I think.
I remember.
It was before TV, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So they did this broadcast, and they started out by saying, and now we're reading from the book by so-and-so.
1938.
1938.
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yes.
So they started reading. They said, we're going to read the story. And then they read the story. But because it's broadcast, a lot of people just tuned in.
Yeah.
And it sounded like a news broadcast because they reported it or read it like it was a news reporting.
Yeah.
Well,
So a lot of people didn't even know it was.
They gave a whole qualifier in the beginning that this is just a story,
Yeah.
a simulation, but some people came in
Late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's a live broadcast,
Yeah.
which is exactly what
it
happened.
caused a panic.
Yeah.
And people were freaking out.
They were, yeah.
But it's the smartest story in my opinion because it's a great story. They come, we can't do anything against them, and then they just suddenly die. And it's because they're not adapted to our bacteria and germs.
Yeah.
they
And
die
that
from
part
moments.
is crazy. 'cause
Super
It
smart.
makes so much sense because of all the thousands of years of just adaptation and how much that takes for us to overcome a lot of these things. It's like, dude, the one little thing.
How big was the panic with that, Doug? Do you remember when you were a kid?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did you send you home from school?
Yeah, were you driving?
He jumped off his horse.
Put down your
I don't know how
pitchfork.
many thousands of people were terrified. though.
Okay. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It just says there was a panic.
Yes.
I remember hearing that. Hearing about the story of that, but I didn't know what happened exactly.
I mean, again, if that happened now, you're right. I think people would be like, ugh.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well, that already happened
how
in
crazy
Florida.
Is that? How crazy is that? Okay,
Right?
Yeah.
back in the 30s, 40s, or whatever, 38, whatever it was. A radio broadcast,
broadcast.
could tell a fictional story and get pandemonium. Today's time, real shit could happen, and I bet we wouldn't even trip. I bet
You know
a lot
what
of
would cause people to trip?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what would cause people. If everybody's internet suddenly stopped working within 2 or 3 hours, you'd have panic, mass panic. Within 2 or 3 hours, everybody would be outside their house or your neighborhood going, your internet, nobody's internet's working? What's going on?
I mean,
Nothing's
you
working?
see a
Cell phones don't work?
microcosm of that anytime power line goes down. You ever? At least that happens in my neighborhood. Like the electricity goes down in our all of a sudden you walk out and the whole neighborhood's everyone.
What happens-
Especially if you live in California, PG, you'll just keep doing it for fun.
There was a great blackout.
turn it
There was
off.
a big blackout in New York City in 1970 something, Doug, if you could pull that up. Was it? It was an actual blackout that caused crazy crime.
Well, Sal, isn't there
was.
haven't they done some research on this there's a certain time frame that if it doesn't get fixed by that it
people
would
start to go.
yes, that it would
tribal.
cause that. Yeah, that it would cause all kinds of
That's
crazy.
a good
I'm
question.
sure there's
Yeah,
a timeline
77.
for that.
77. And what happened in there? They lost power for how long?
It wasn't that long, actually. I think it was like 24 hours.
24 hours. They lost power in a whole, I think the whole city.
Yeah, everybody just
Yeah, I'm going to
lost
see
And
the
it
exact
caused
time. but-
crazy crime. Yeah, it was the blackout of 1977.
it. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Ad, so I thought of you the other day. There was this
in the
You
shower?
probably already know this. Yeah. I thought of you not wearing any clothes. It was weird, but no, that's not how I thought. It was the NIL. It's the stuff for
NIL stuff.
college.
I'm into that right now. I think
so
that's
there was
interesting.
this.
What's NAL stand
It was NIL. Yeah. What is it? I don't know what it stands for.
for? Oh, my bad. Continue.
It's just
I thought you would
basically
know.
it's you know how they can pay like college players
Got
now
it,
and they
got
open
it.
that whole
Can
thing
we look
up.
at the acronym just so I know? Because I'm sure someone.
I know
asked
I've
me
been
again.
saying it, just not even knowing, but
National.
Institute of Leaders.
layman.
What is it?
I don't know.
I'll get the answer for
All
you.
right, go ahead,
here.
Justin.
Anyways,
That's-
so there's
You were
this,
thinking
this
about
lineman from Stanford came up with a solution. You know how like to recruit players, a lot of times it's the big donors that
Yep.
really have a say in that.
Yeah.
They're able to kind of fund and sway them in these recruitment trips. Well, he created with LinkedIn, I guess, bought his company that now they open source that up so fans can actually, pitch in and try and donate to grab other players, potentially to recruit. So now they have some more weight in that process.
I mean, this is getting crazy. So this just goes to the point I was making with
name, image, likeness.
Oh, that's so funny.
There you go.
Right?
Okay.
So this goes into what I said the last time I brought up NIL stuff is these coaches are having a really hard time. I mean, because back in the days, it used to be you get recruited to this prestigious college and it's an honor to get to play for this team and you want to prove yourself so bad so that you get into the league. And now you've got these kids that are getting pulled in all different directions. And now you have open sourcing potentially. Imagine you have I heard, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that recently there was a team that somebody left and that player was able to get like that whole team recruited from. So like a whole team lost their whole team.
Wow.
Because this can happen now.
Yeah.
And so if you start open sourcing
That's
that,
so crazy.
what's to stop like enough people getting behind? Like let's say like Notre Dame's a popular football team.
I feel like Ohio State and Michigan, they'd be like messing with each other with that, right?
They're all going to be messing
Yeah.
with each other. So it really interesting to watch this all shake out. I mean, I do think that it was the right move because it was happening anyways, just illegally, right? So now it's like more upfront that this is like we're paying these players.
Change the
now.
dynamics, though.
It does change the dynamics, and I think they're still trying to figure out how do we work around this. So that's interesting. What a cool.
Yeah,
Neat.
super disruptive. I was like, wow, that's
Very
a brilliant idea for him to come up
What
with
school did it for? Do you know what school did it first, or where did you? What was it?
No, so he created with a couple other
the
partners,
software or
the
something?
software, yeah,
Okay.
that they just brought online through LinkedIn, and they're able to.
Do you know? Okay, speaking of
Launch it.
software, that's like really interesting, you guys, and it's blowing up this year. This year it blew up the biggest, and so next year it's supposed to be crazy. Gary Vee's been talking about this since 2015.
It's called Fanstake.
And he's been telling people since 2015. I watched an old video where he was like screaming that this is going to be the biggest thing ever. And that is basically QVC into social media. And I told you guys about that What's Not app and my buddy with the cards and how addicted he was.
Oh, yeah,
so that's
yeah.
What's Not is one of the biggest apps that's doing this kind of QVC type of thing. Basically, it's where social curators are able to, and I mean,
Like auction off.
we're not
stuff
big.
and-
We're not big on things like our apparel is like a small, obviously very small part of our business, and we don't sell things, right? It's like programs, so it's different, a little bit different. But if we actually had stuff that we sold, like we should be doing this. We'd be silly not to be doing this if we didn't sell like tangible things, because that's what anybody who has influence or a network like this, and you do this live selling, and it goes crazy, and it's basically
Who'd be the one doing that?
Justin.
Yeah. I'd have to take things off.
Because you know why? You know why? Because the people that do it, it's their characters.
Oh.
That's what draws people in, is that you're funny, you're entertaining,
Yeah, that
and
would
you're
be
selling.
Justin.
So
Yeah,
You-
well,
sorry.
I might actually beat you in sales.
You did beat me.
Yeah.
Brain FM makes music and sounds that induce different states of mind, as shown by fMRI studies. They actually work. In other words, you listen to focus, your brain gets into a focused state. You listen to sleep, it gets into a sleep state. Meditation does this as well. It's a very effective way to improve or change your state of mind. Don't believe me? Try it out for yourself for 30 days for free. Test it out. Within 5 minutes, you'll see what I'm talking about. Go to brain.fm/mind pump. All right, back to the show. This segment of answering questions is brought to you by live webinars that Adam and I host. It's at trainerwebinar.com. The next one is January 7th. We help trainers and coaches start the new year off right by helping them build their business.
Our first caller is Shane from North Carolina.
You get another chance.
Hey guys,
Hey, Shane.
What's up, Shane?
appreciate you bringing me on. So my question here, so I run my own personal training business for the last 2 years now. I've been a trainer for 7. And I recently came from a country club was the director of wellness and aquatic operations. Felt to kind of branch out on my own. But the lingering question I've always had was like, what's the end game? And I often felt like there was no clear, end game, clear choice in what was going on without it being repetitive and like a Groundhog Day type thing. So it's hard to imagine that growth sustainability beyond trading my time for money. So I did purchase y'all's fitness coaching course as I was one of the first 100. I didn't start it, unfortunately, which I plan on to. But I did see that you all have that CRM program. So added to that, what advice do you have for scaling a personal training business while maintaining that passion, avoiding burnout, and kind of finding that end game, that point of when you want to retire?
I love that. I love that.
Cool.
You definitely need to decide if the end goal is to, okay, I want to scale out of this and I'd love to have all these trainers working for me, but I don't personally want to train clients anymore. Or I could see myself still training a lot of people because I love doing it. And so there is a middle of the road type of situation here. It doesn't have to be an either or. You don't have to decide I've got to scale out and be done with it, or I have to be always doing all the clients. I do think there is a happy medium there for somebody who loves to still train people. And the beauty of scaling the business beyond just yourself is you have an opportunity to pick and choose kind of who you take, right? So in a perfect world, you use the CRM to help you scale and build enough volume to where you need to bring on other coaches and trainers underneath you. And then you start to handpick the ones that you want to train, and then you deliver the other ones to other people. But one of the things when you're where you're currently at and you're trying to decide, is that where I want to go? Probably the hardest transition that trainers make is they sell themselves. Most of us, that's how we got started, was you talk about what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to write a meal plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And the transition of that, and then, oh my God, I have so many clients. I now need other trainers. And now I'm no longer selling myself. I'm selling the program or the system. I always want to encourage my trainers, even when you're at where you're at. And so even though you're not to the point where you need 10 trainers underneath you, you already start communicating what you deliver as what we deliver, or what my program does, or what the systems that I'm using will deliver for you, and practice that communication that way. This will make that transition of, okay, now I'm so loaded, I can no longer take all these people and I need another trainer. Oh, wait, how do I sell this other trainer? Well, you're not. You've been selling your systems that, Shane, and whatever you call it, right? Whatever your business name is, or whatever you decide your programming system. And that's we're a perfect example of that. MAPS programs, right? We don't sell Sal, Justin, or Adam as personal trainers. We sell the MAPS programming systems, right? And so even though you may not see yourself there quite yet, it's a good thing to start practicing if you believe that you want to scale something bigger than just yourself. That would be my first piece of advice.
Shane, you're currently training people now, right? On your own, or are you working for someone else?
So I train on my own. The country club that I left or resigned from my position, I still train there. I still train my original clients. Okay. And then I also train a handful, probably 6 maybe, in my garage at my house.
Okay. So there's an order of operation here too you want to focus on, which is get to the point where you have built your own business well enough first, where you're maxed out yourself, you're charging top dollar, you've got a great client base, and then you get to the problem of or the challenge of scaling. What you don't want to do is focus on the steps too far ahead without focusing on what's right in front of you. So right in front of you, what it seems to me is, how do I, if I'm you, I'm like, okay, how do I build my business to where I'm doing really well, to where the next step is inevitable. I have to scale, but start there. Start with building your own. And if you really enjoy what you're doing and training people, you could scale by yourself very far before you have to add employees or staff. Like, you could raise your prices many, many times to where you're training, 10 people, but you're doing really, really well because you're charging top dollar. There's such a huge range of what you could charge as a coach and a trainer, depending on the services you offer and just how good you are.
And we talk about this, just so you know, in the course, just so when you go through that and you get to we actually talk about this process. So
yeah. I mean,
the goal is really to get a waiting list. I mean, get to that point where it really makes sense. And then to Sal's point, you then adjust your pricing and then see if you can, bring on and onboard people at a higher price point. You start kind of scaling and seeing whether or not you want to go lower volume, higher price point, if that works best for your lifestyle and your goals. And then, once you get that all efficient, that's why I'd look into like online personal training and offering different services like that.
Yeah, but imagine this. It's like a client coming to you who doesn't work out and they haven't worked out in a while. And they're like, Shane, once I gain 30 pounds of muscle and get down to 10% body fat, like, how do I maintain that? Like, you're going to be like, look, let's get you started first, and let's get you to the first steps before we get to that point, because that's way down the line. So I wouldn't even worry about scaling right now. I would worry about growing your business, getting it to a point where you're like, this is crushing. So all right, how do we do that? Step one, go through our course. Yeah. There's so much valuable stuff in there. That's gonna help with that. So that's step number one. Step number two, you could work with our CRM, which we're not really talking about publicly, so I'm not going to go super into detail about this. This is really only something we talk about at the moment to our coaches. But our CRM manages everything for you. Yep. It will make scaling easy because you'll have everything.
You'll load up.
You'll have your email sequences set up. You'll have your guides set up. You'll have your leads system set up. You'll have everything in there. Start there, build your business, get to the point where you're on your own doing exceptionally well, which is very, very possible. Then look at scaling. And then what Adam said would be the next step. What's my system that I can sell? That's the very next step on how to scale. But start with you. Can I get to a point where I'm just by myself training people, crushing? I've raised my prices. I'm doing very well. And then look at, okay, let's scale. But start with the course. Look at the CRM. Let's go there first. And if you're diligent, that's a no-brainer.
And as far as some of the tactical things to do, the call that I'm doing for you guys today with Kyle at 4 p.m. is centered around that. So like tactical things to go after as far as lead generation and closing percentage and ways to help you, like how you should focus going to the new year. So that's really what the webinar is about, is like closing out the final quarter, setting yourself up for 2025. What are some good goals for you to focus on to help you scale your business? So I don't know if you can make that at 4, but it'll be recorded and it's for you guys. So that's going on at 4 o'clock today.
And then every other month or so, starting in January, we do just free webinars for coaches and trainers. And I think you heard me say this off air, but it's trainerwebinar.com. Attend all of them. They're all free school. It's free classes, and we're going to try and make them as valuable as possible. And we're never going to charge.
And it's really centered around this. It's centered around helping you guys scale and build your business.
Totally, dude. Does that help?
Right, and that's why I purchased that course. Because I really wanted to take it further and take the right steps. Because sometimes it's just kind of like a long road, and you don't even know where it's going.
Don't even think about.
Really appreciate.
Yeah, you got it, dude. Don't even think that far down the line, because it's just start with where you're at, and that course
it'll reveal itself. As much as work as you're putting into it now.
100%. Start the course, dude. I'm telling you, it'll be so valuable for exactly what you're asking.
Perfect. I appreciate it, guys.
You got it, man.
All right, Shane. We'll see you in there, brother.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, that's. I use that analogy because sometimes people get trapped in that, like, what do I do 15 steps from now?
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah. Well, the way you get there is you start with the next step, which is for him.
You overwhelmed with clients and just crushing.
Yeah, like, why are you asking?
Let's focus just on getting
what was that one?
point.
What was that one guy that you send that video?
The Wes Watson video.
Hilarious and true. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But this is why we do why we're entering into the space, is that there's a lot of coaches and trainers that they have a passion. This is why you become a trainer. You have a passion for helping people, Nobody teaches you effectively how to start and how to build.
The webinar that Kyle and I are doing today, that's literally, so you guys remember when I did the free one that we did for the 3-day training, you did one, I did one, right?
Yeah.
So the whole breaking down, what's your show percentage, what's your close percentage, average, like it starts there. Like figuring out how many people do I have to talk to in order to get a lead? And then when I get a lead, how many of those leads do I need to see that convert into training? And then the ones that actually convert into training, what's the average dollar? It's knowing your statistics, your stats first, right? Then you have that, and then you plug and play. You go, oh wow! In order for me to sell $5,000 in personal training, I've got to talk to 50 people. Yeah, and then so you distill it down to that. Like, okay, the goal is to talk to 50 people a month if I want to make $5,000. Well, if I want to make $10,000, that means I need to talk to 100 people. Yeah. Okay, if I need to talk to 100 people, what does that look like in 30 days? Okay, that means I need to talk to 3.5 people a day. Okay, 4 people a day. That's the goal. So every day I'm going to talk to four people a day, and that translates. And you start there, and then the next month you go, okay, what areas am I weak in, and where am I strong? Oh wow, it looks like I'm really good at convincing people to show up to see me, but I'm really bad at closing. Okay, so it's closing. I need to work on my closing, and that's what the course is all about. Is we have all this stuff to help trainers and coaches in those areas, but it first starts with you tracking and understanding what it takes for you to get
step one is step one.
Yep.
Our next caller is Brian from South Carolina.
Brian, what's up, dude?
What's up, Brian? How can we help you, man?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good.
We're doing good.
Super excited to be on today. So I'm 37 years old. I have lost 75 pounds this year, started at 305 pounds.
Wow.
As I look toward 2025, really trying to figure out where do I change from the cutting mindset to the maintaining mindset. Obviously, some people say BMI, some people say a weight goal, some people say a fat percentage. As I continue to cut down, I'm 235 right now, started at 305. I don't really know where to stop and change that mindset from a caloric standpoint as well as just a lifestyle standpoint.
Love it. Where are you at right now? Tell me calorie wise. Where you at?
Around 2,000.
Okay.
20 to 2,500. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and I lift weights. So if I'm feeling more hungry, I eat more. If I'm feeling less hungry, I eat less, but I'm eating all whole foods, mainly fruit, meat, raw dairy, very clean carbs if I do eat rice or something like that.
You're actually in a
good place.
You got the right mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, really at this point, if you focus on performance and strength, I think that'll lead you well.
I think the hardest part, though, I got to imagine, because I just went through this and around similar numbers as far as like the calorie intake, hitting 220 grams of protein is probably pretty hard to do when you're at 2,000 calories. How consistent are you with the protein day in and day out?
So I eat a lot of red meat, but I'm consistently about 150 grams.
Okay.
I am not doing any supplements currently, including protein powder, creatine, post pre-workout, nothing. I am doing some electrolytes in the form of Element, but that's kind of
good.
Right
That's
now.
okay. So this is cool. This is good, Brian. And then this is an easy. Yeah, bump our protein. So and that'll bump
50 grams.
Yeah, bump your protein by 50 grams. Either through Whole Foods, if you have to, use a shake, but that becomes the goal. Like, hey, we're hitting 200 grams of protein, and those extra calories should kind of help you kind of reverse that, or at least start to build some muscle. Because what's happening right now is I think you're doing really good. You're just low calorie. You're leaning out, and you're losing a lot of body fat. It's probably time to bump the calories a little more and protein intake, and just focus on building some muscle. And your weight is already fine, in my opinion. For a 6-foot guy to be hovering around weight-wise, you're a good weight. Mm-hmm. Now I just want to change your body composition to where you feel really happy muscular-wise and strength-wise, And that could be as easy as just adding 50 grams of protein a day through either whole foods or a shake if we have to.
How often are you doing jujitsu and lifting weights? Tell me your routine.
Yeah. What are you on any of our programs?
So right now, my exact routine is I lift weight Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the mornings, jujitsu Monday, Wednesday, Friday at nights, and then Tuesday, Thursday, I kind of treat as low steady state cardio recovery day. Maybe hit the bike, maybe hit some rowing, but very low effort, just trying to keep movement up. I also feel better when I do that, it seems.
Are you?
And then normally I take the weekends completely off.
Are you seeing strength gains, or have you plateaued?
No, I've only been lifting realistically for a month or so.
Oh, wow.
You're in a great place.
Yeah, you're in a great place.
Let me send you a program, Brian. Follow one of our programs. Okay. I think MAPS 15 Performance would be perfect for you.
That's exactly what I said.
And it's a 5 or 6 day a week program, but you're only doing 2 exercises a day, those short workouts. It's perfect in combination with jujitsu.
You add that with the 50 grams of protein.
Yeah, you're good.
You're perfect.
You're going to build muscle and get leaner.
So
at the
do you
same
think
time.
I should? So should I stay where I'm at calorically and then just add the protein calories into that?
Yep.
So it'd be 25 to 3,000 roughly.
Well, 50 grams of protein is only going to add
like 400,
200 grams. No, I mean, it's less than that. Yeah. So just add 50 grams of protein to what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then follow MAPS 15 Performance with your jujitsu. And especially in these early stages, it's a month. You've only been lifting for a month.
Your progress is about to explode.
Yeah, you're going to see some great strength gains.
You're going to be fine going up anywhere between 300 and 500 calories.
Yep.
That's a good 300 to 500 more than where you're currently at, and try and make most of them, if not all of them, from protein. So we should try and not go below 200. So your new threshold is hit 200 grams or more every day consistently. And 300 to 500 more calories, that range is perfect.
And what you're going to experience with this, especially because you just started strength training with weights, is those extra calories, you're going to get stronger and you're going to build muscle, and the scale probably isn't going to move.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get leaner as you build more muscle, and you should see improvements in your performance in jiu-jitsu as well.
And even if you do go up a little bit in weight initially,
don't worry about it.
No. Because you will be taking more calories, which you could hold a little bit more water, and so. But you're going to be good, dude.
This is a great place to be.
Yeah, you did a good job. I mean, Whole Foods doing it that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's and you're in a.
This is the scariest part right here, is trying to transition to a new mindset.
And I'll tell you, Brian, the part that will kind of be the mind fuck will be the initial little bit of weight that you might see on the scale. In fact, actually, why don't we do this? Don't weigh yourself.
No, don't.
Don't even weigh yourself right now. Give yourself a month before you get on the scale again to maybe check up on it. But stay away from the scale for 30 days and do exactly what we said. That way you don't get the mind fuck. Trust us for 30 days, okay? And then you can get on the scale, or or take a picture right now of front, side, back, what you look like, and then in 30 days, no scale, no nothing, take the pictures and then tell me you don't see a difference.
You know what's funny is that you've done the really hard work. So I know mentally it's difficult because you're switching, mentality. But you're about to you've done the hard work of losing all that weight. You're about to see muscle, strength gain, metabolism boost, testosterone's going to go up.
Everything.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
As long as you don't go crazy and overdo it in any other direction, like literally just follow our program. Don't do any additional strength training or any additional workouts, plus your jiu-jitsu with the extra protein. You've got probably some you're going to see yourself progress linearly for at least 3 to 4 months before you start to see yourself start to slow down with plateauing. So you've got yourself a nice road ahead.
Yeah. I'd love for you to follow back up with us. I think you'd be a fun person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I'd love for you to reach back.
Is there
Go ahead.
Because I'm not doing any supplements now, is there a brand of protein that you would recommend?
Yeah, you can do dairy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Legion makes a really great whey protein.
Great whey protein.
Yeah, and we have a discount code with them, but they're very high quality protein, no artificial sweeteners. So we like Legion. If you go on our mindpumppartners.com page, you can go click there. You'll get a discount. And then creatine.
Okay. Are you taking creatine yet?
No.
Oh, wow,
dude,
bro. You're going to see a great. You add creatine, the protein shake, and the calories and protein we're at with the MAPS 15. You're going to be so good.
Yeah,
bro.
you're about to see like the next 5-6 months of just, as long as you don't go crazy in either direction, you're about to see some really, really good performance and aesthetic results.
Yeah. Just stay away from the scale. Don't let it mind fuck you, okay?
Totally.
Stay away from the scale. I don't. It will. It'll
That's
get
harder. That's easier said than done.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I gave you just a small goal, 30
Focus on
days.
strength.
I'm not saying forever. Just give me 30 days of doing exactly what we said, because I don't want you to because what will happen a lot of times with someone like you is the first week you'll freak out. Oh my God, because you'll see a little bit of weight go up on the scale or something and it'll feel off I don't want you to touch the scale for 30 days, do exactly what we say, and then you can look at it in 30 days and and look at your pictures within 30 days and you'll see a difference.
Can we get you back on in 90 days just to give you a little bit of
Sure.
accountability? Okay, we're going to have you back on about 90 days, about 3 months, 60 to 90 days, and we'll talk then and see how everything's going.
I like 60 days is plenty.
60 is plenty.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, 2 months is good.
Yeah, let's do 60 follow-up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll send that over to you. Maps
thank
15
you.
Performance.
Coming your way.
Thank you very much.
You got it, man. Thanks, Michael.
Is it Brian?
Oh, Brian. Sorry.
Michael Brian.
It's on the notes. It says Michael. He's in a very exciting place.
Yes.
Like for people listening right now, what he said is also true. This is the tough part mentally.
Yep.
Because he's got to make this mental switch of trying to lose weight to build muscle and that stuff. And it's scary for someone like him who lost 75 pounds to add any calories. That's scary. But physiologically, if he does what we tell him, he's about to get the best results he's ever had in his entire life. He's really primed for it. He just started strength training. Yeah. His protein isn't ideal.
Doing all the right things nutritionally. Yeah,
and he's about to
right
get
there.
linear gains. So this, especially the first few months of strength training with good programming, he's going to see himself get stronger almost week after week after week for a little while. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, this is like a dream client situation because it makes you.
If he hires you now, you look like a champion.
Yeah, you look so good.
Get him right before the huge transformation.
Yeah. So
it's like LeBron James hiring you to do his basketball coaching before.
Right. No, I hope he follows back up because he'll be a fun one to talk to afterwards because he's going to see his weight is perfect. He doesn't need to be any.
235, 6 foot. He could get down a nice 15% body fat with that.
Yeah.
Also, the January special is here. We have 4 workout program bundles: the new to weightlifting bundle, the body transformation bundle, the New Year Extreme Intensity bundle, and the body transformation bundle 2.0. Every single one of those workout program bundles is $300 off retail. It's a massive sale. If you're interested, go to mapsjanuary.com. All right, back to the show.
Our next caller is Jameson from Canada.
Jameson, what's happening?
What's going on, man?
How can we help you?
Hey guys, super stoked to be talking to you guys. Yeah, just a little bit about me. I started working out like 2017. I was really heavy, 240 pounds. I went on a canoe trip with some of my buddies, and I was in the front of the canoe, and this thing was just hoggling over on the front.
Nothing like that.
Didn't put
nothing
you in
like
the
that
back?
to motivate you to get in shape, huh?
Sinking the boat.
So yeah, I kind of was getting a little picked and prodded at, and I was like, I'll show these freaking guys. I went home and I was kind of disappointed. So I started this program called MP45. It was called it was just a thing that promised you a 6-pack in 45 days, and it taught me about nutrition, taught me about weightlifting, and stuff like that. And so I started at 240. I did that in 45 days. I dropped down to like 205 pounds. And then I started with a personal trainer, and this guy had me doing 6 days a week, twice a day.
Wow.
I would sprint. I'd do sprints in the morning. And then I was also a plumber at the time. I was doing plumbing in the day, and then in the evening I would do weightlifting. And then I was so tired during the day. He had me on keto. I was eating 1,500 calories. I was absolutely demolished. Like, I was so tired. I was sleeping
crazy.
during my lunch breaks.
I bet.
Just to get some energy. And I was like, no, I was like, hey, this guy was Jack. So I was like, yeah, this is just the process. This is how it is. And I did this till I dropped to 170, and I did that for about 4 months, and I was like stuck at 170, and he's like, okay, let's get you jogging after your workout now.
Add a third thing
I
in.
I was jogging in after my weightlifting and I was like, holy shit, man, like I was so tired. And he's like, okay, let's flip the switch. And so we flipped the switch and I started eating like some carbs, eating more, and I like stacked on. Like I was so hungry when I was 170. I was just starving. Like I could eat anything, and I was dreaming about food and just like it was nuts. And I did stack on a fair amount of muscle. Like I went from 170 to like 190. I was deadlifting 500 pounds, like dumbbell pressing 120-pound dumbbells.
Wow.
Just I did feel good. Anyway, I dropped him, and I kind of weightlifted steadily for like 3 years till 2021. And then I kind of fell off the wagon, and I started listening to you guys, and I like total different advice. Like I was always taught like you should be like annihilating your body in the gym, making it sore, this and that. So I recently just started working out again. I think I'm on like 13th week, and I just been kind of doing what you guys said. I just kind of have been taking it easy, 3-4 days a week, just doing the minimum. I think Adam, I had heard you were kind of getting back into it. I think you got back into it recently, and you were saying on the podcast that you just were just kind of trying to do it as easy as you could, like not tracking, just going in, doing the bare minimum to start. And that's what I've been doing. And when I first started in September again, I was like 210 pounds. I dropped to 200 within a couple weeks, and I've been just staying there gradually at 200. And my body it's definitely, I have been seeing changes, and I'm just a lot more sore than I was when I was working out back then, even though I was doing 6 days a week. But I'm just wondering, did I butcher my body for like future, like to get to where I was way back then? Because I didn't see good results, but
No, bro, you're okay.
Yeah. By the way, I mean, one thing's for sure, you work hard.
Body's resilient, thank God.
Yeah. No, you got the right idea now. Yeah. And by the way, soreness isn't really a good indicator of a good workout or a bad workout. I mean, too much soreness can tell you that you overdid it. But oftentimes, overtraining, you don't get sore. You just feel exhausted. I've done that to myself in the past, where I was doing double split, crazy routines, and I just wasn't getting sore. So I thought, I'm not overtraining, but I had all the symptoms of overtraining as well. So it's a bit of a conundrum when it comes to soreness. But you're on the right path now. Are you following any of our programs?
No, I've just been kind of coming into my gym and just kind of picking how I feel, going with how I feel that day. Like I've been mixing it up. I get so bored easily, and I'll come in and do chest and back one day a week, and then I'm just kind of jumping around, to be honest.
Well, what do you like? Do you like bodybuilding style workouts? Do you like powerlifting style? Do you want to do different kinds of exercises and novelty?
Stuff.
Yeah, like all my whole like lifting career, I've just been doing like max lifts. So I'll start with like 15 reps dumbbells for like, and then I'll drop to 10 reps, and then I'll go to 3 to 6 as heavy as I can, and do that. Like I've always been kind of like powerlifting style. My whole
Mass 15 performance.
I've really known.
No, you know what I feel for this guy? Old time. I bet he would love old time. I bet. I want to send you a program. Let me send you a program. I don't know. I'm getting a vibe from you that I think you would really enjoy our MAPS Old Time Strength program, which is like Bronze era bodybuilding style workouts. So these are workouts that they did in the Bronze era, where they were exceptionally strong, but it's not traditional exercises. A lot of the exercises are ones that they did back in those days, like a one-arm bent press and stuff like that. And it builds a tremendously
insanely strong,
stable body, and it's fun. It's very different from anything you've done.
Yeah.
So if you're getting bored with the same whatever, you'll love this program for sure. And I just get this vibe from you that I think you would really enjoy it. So I could send that to you and then follow it. The difference between going to the gym and doing what you feel and following a well-programmed program that's actually written properly, the difference for results is like night and day, my friend.
Yeah, you'll notice a big difference by following something structured like that. I do want you to go to the YouTube channel and go to Mind Pump TV and follow along the journey that I just documented. So it was my last 3 months of getting back, and just like you, I'd been off for a little bit. I got back in the swing of things, And like follow what Sal said, workout wise, fine. But the advice and the tips and the conversations that I'm having in there, I think will really serve you, because I talk about nutrition, I talk about intensity and form. Like I talk about a lot of things on that whole process. And so follow along on that. Get started on that. It's on Mind Pump TV, and you'll see all the videos that I've been doing for the last 3 months. Follow that, and then do what Sal's doing, and you're gonna be just fine, dude. Yeah,
we'll send you the program and just follow it. Switch to our program. You're gonna love it, dude. Don't do anything else. Yep.
Sick, man. I appreciate it. Hey, man, I know we don't have much time. I do have a number of questions, but whenever we're out of time, just tell me. So there's some like muscles that I find lacking, like my left hamstring, my left shoulder. Would you guys recommend like going in one day and just totally working on an isolation of my left shoulder, doing lifts with that, and just working on like
nice symmetry
it individually?
Yeah, yes and no. So yes, but that requires more careful programming than just doing that. Okay, so old time still could work, but symmetry might actually be better.
Symmetry might address, for unilateral type of
it's not a crazy
exercises.
It's not a crazy difference, but it's just
if it's noticeable, if
it's noticeable, you want to address it.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next question? Because now I'm on a different program that I want to send you. Ask me the next question. Let's see if it's,
I know, right?
Let's see if we're staying on track here.
It's gonna be another program.
Yeah, so I guess back in the day, I was more for like really wanted that 6-pack look, good body, but now I'm more for like longevity. Like I'm 31 now. I just want a body at 60 that I can still utilize and have me golfing still and doing activities that I can, like, I'm just here for, I just want longevity is my goal now. So, and then another question, I don't touch pre-workouts or anything like that anymore. I found back in the day when I'd ingest a bit of THC before a workout, and I found the pumps to be like really crazy. I'm just wondering, I don't really want to do that anymore, but just wondering if you guys have any tips to help with that, like mind muscle connection, because I've never felt such a better mind muscle connection than I have with ingesting a little bit of THC before a workout.
Yeah, the data shows reduced performance from THC from strength and power. However, anecdotally, a lot of people say that because it changes your perception of what you're doing. Generally speaking, it's not a great substance for physical performance, fat loss, muscle gain, anything like that. Honestly, a little caffeine and just the program that we were going to send you, I think, is really good for learning mind muscle connection. It's a lot of the workouts in there are unilateral, and that's what unilateral type training does. So if you want to use a little THC before your workout, go for it. But it's not typically one that I advise. I don't typically tell people to use that.
Okay.
Longevity-wise too, the symmetry is perfect for that. I mean, it's addressing all of your joints' health and strength stability. So, eliminating pain or any kind of like dysfunction, and addressing it, strengthening the overall body. I think we'll send you that one, and then I would look into old time though after you're done.
One of the reasons why people feel that from the THC like that is kind of everything else going on in your life in the day kind of melts away, and you become just hyper present. You're stoned, and all you're thinking about is what's right in front of you. You're not thinking about other things everywhere else, and so that's kind of what that tends to do. A more natural way to do something like that is put something like Brain FM in your headphones and put focus on or something. That'll really help that. So if you find yourself thinking about work and other stuff you got going on, and that's what keeps you from being really, really focused, that's a recommendation, is to throw Brain FM in your ears and listen to like a focus session while you're lifting. That'll really drown out all the noise, so you're really focused on the mind muscle connection.
Sweet, man. Appreciate it. Also, I have my own like sauna and cold plunge room. I'm just wondering, like, what's the maximum? Like, I've been doing it after every workout. I find that like 39 degrees, like I set that cold plunge to as cold as it'll go, and like I
plunge before,
a minute in there.
Do the cold
plunge before, sauna after.
Yep.
And don't utilize the cold.
Not after.
Don't do the
plunge before. Plunge before, sauna after.
Do the cold plunge first. You'll get the best workout ever.
Yep.
And then sauna afterwards.
and then don't do any cold plunge after the workout. Just strictly sauna.
Just strictly sauna.
That's right.
Plunge before, sauna afterwards. We don't want to blunt
Sweet,
that
man.
recovery signal because you that's the downfall of doing the ice bath afterwards is, as far as building muscle goes, it's actually not an ideal thing to do.
Unless you're doing your double day still, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah. So what happens? You do the cold plunge before, you get a bunch of catecholamine release, dopamine, norepinephrine. That's like your natural pre-workout. Then you'll get a better workout, and then afterwards, you don't want to use cold because that blunts the muscle building signal. Not a huge effect, so I don't want to freak you out. No, you're not going to build muscle, but it's just not ideal. But the sauna afterwards helps.
Yeah.
And that in those recovery days that I'm not working out, sauna cold plunge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, you can do it then like that.
Whenever,
yeah. And then you could do it together back and forth. In fact, that would be hot cold contrast would be great if you were going back and forth on the days you don't have anything.
Yep.
Sweet, man. One more thing, creatine. That's the only substance I take. I find I wake up during the night 3 times to take a leak if I'm taking it. If I don't take it, I'm not waking up to take a leak.
How long do you take it for when that started? Do you take it consistently, or do you stop taking it after a few weeks?
No, I take it consistently. I've taken it for over a month now. And I'm always waking up to take a leak.
Are you taking it
during
before
my
bed?
sleep. No, I'll take it midday.
Okay. Stay with it. You should be, so it might be affecting your sleep. For most people, it improves sleep, but for some people, because of the increased ATP, here's what's happening. It's not making you pee more. You may be waking up in the middle of the night more often, which then makes you need to pee. I would lower the dose, stay consistent. That effect should slow down and stop after a few months.
Okay, sweet.
That's
Right
it.
on, guys. I appreciate your time.
You got it, man.
We're going to send that program over to you, Jameson.
Thanks a lot.
All right, brother.
You got it. His the trainer.
Jesus,
Had him-
bro.
By the way,
He was trying to break them.
Next month it would have been alarm at 3 a.m. for sprints.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, you hit a plateau. Now we're going to add jogging in there.
What's going on?
You know, instead of sleeping, we're just going to have you walk on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Yeah,
Poor
exactly.
guy. At least Jameson's a hardworking guy, dude. Because
Oh, my
Sleep with your eyes open.
he survived that one, I guess. But
Holy shit. And you know what?
Man,
and
there's some dumbasses.
he will actually, because he's did all that, he'll be better now. Like if just by taking care of his body, and his body has been that strong and had that muscle before, this is where the muscle memory. So I hope he watches the series that I did on Mind Pump TV, because I think where he's at and a lot of the conversation I'm having will serve him.
all right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. 30% body fat. For men, this is way too high. This is actually a bit high for women as well. So in today's episode, we're talking about how you can go from 30 to 10. What is 10% body fat? This is when you have a visible six-pack. Can you go from 30 to 10%? Yes, it's possible, but not if you guess along the way. So we're going to talk about how you can do that in today's episode.
Now there's a huge range, right, of like body types.
Yes.
Some people can run a little bit heavier or a little bit higher body.